Yeah.
Okay, everybody, let's get rolling. We have a special event. But first we'll do the invocation and the pledge. Don't forget to turn your devices off. And with that, we will have the invocation by Michael Majerick. I'll do the pledge. Feel free to join us. If you wish to, please rise.
Please stand if you choose to. Father, Lord God, we are meeting today to conduct matters of business through our weakness. Give us strength. Through our discussions, give us clarity. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being our source of guidance today. Please watch over all citizens living with illness and pain today. God bless America, Berrien County, and our families. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Bell,
Here.
Curran,
Here.
Freeling,
Present.
Harrison,
Here.
Hinkleman,
Here.
Majerick,
Here.
Ott,
Here.
Chokwe,
Present.
Walrath,
Here.
Werfel,
Here.
Yarborough, Elliott.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 present.
Thank you. Minutes from last week need to be approved. Haven't heard of any changes. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Moved by Pitchford, supported by Freeling. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Communications, I note the presence of the Orinoco Charter Township Supervisor, Mike Hildebrand. Mike, did you wish to be heard?
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me or I don't know you, I'm Mike Hildebrand. I'm the Orinoco Township Supervisor, and I'm here to say thank you to the county for supporting our broadband expansion project. I believe that we were kind of the tip of the spear on this whole idea, and happy to report that as of 2 weeks ago tomorrow, our lines are live. They've started connecting houses, serves about 1,000 parcels in our township. And I believe that every unserved resident is going to be served with high-speed internet. So it's a $1.4 million project. Feels like it took moving heaven and earth to get here, but we're here. And again, just wanted to say thanks to Terry for all the work on the BC Bit project and for Brian for answering my many texts and phone calls. Sorry to be a pest, but it worked. So, thank you. Go White.
Mr. Board, or Mr. Chairman, to the board, yesterday I attempted to return a phone call from the supervisor. His phone wasn't working because it was connected to his home Wi-Fi. I felt like it was a pretty good illustration of why this project was needed.
1 megabyte per second.
Okay. Well, that's better than dial-up, I guess. Maybe not. All right, we have Max here, MAXX. And we have resolution ending in 1127, which we'll get to in due course. Max, can you hang out for a second while we quickly work into our consent calendar? Do you think, will he be? Oh, yeah, I know we do. Thanks. Appreciate the heads up. We're going to do communications, public comments on resolutions, then consent calendar. And at that point, we will have officially authorized Max to transition into a retirement mode. So first of all, I know we do have a communication, at least one. Three now, okay.
You received 3 communications, one from Berrien County MSU Extension, an email regarding Extension's upcoming events in Berrien County received on January 18th, an email from Nicholas Gunn, St. Joseph Charter Township, an email sharing a lifestyle of unity video received on January 23rd. Stephanie Jacobson, founder of Otsego County Liberty Rising from Gaylord, Michigan, a resolution for a letter opposed to the expansion of the Michigan National Guard's camp and Grayling Training Facility, received on January 23rd. That's all.
Thank you. Public comments about the consent calendar. If anyone has any, now's the time. Okay, don't see any, and no one has asked to pull anything from the consent calendar, so, ma'am.
As it relates to resolution B23-01063, the requisition of 63192, I wish to abstain from that, and I just want it on record.
Right, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if the clerk needs it, you can provide their number to her. Okay. All right, with that caveat, is there a motion to approve the consent calendar as submitted?
I would move that.
Moved by Freeling, is there support? Supported by Bell, is there discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Curran,
Yes.
Freeling.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Majerick.
Yes.
Ott.
Yes.
Pitchford.
Yes.
Ballraff.
Yes.
Werfel.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Bell.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas.
Thank you. As pertains to A 2301127, Sheriff Bailey, would you like to amplify on the content of that resolution and what we're doing today with reference to a K-9 named Max?
Well, we're going to retire Max today. He served the citizens very well. Lieutenant Tom Dyer is here right now. He was a dog handler for Max for 2 years, and when he got promoted from a deputy to sergeant, then we posted it, and Paul Grennan's here. He was the handler for Max for a little over 4 years, and Max is 9 years old, so we're not going to turn him over to a new handler because he's at the end of his life of being a K-9 unit for law enforcement. So I'd like to have Paul and Tom talk a little bit about Max and what Max has done for the county. So we'll start out with the first handler, Tom, on the
Okay.
2 years that he had Max.
All right, very good.
Tom?
Lieutenant Dyer?
Thanks for having me. I was actually fortunate enough to pick out Max. I was the first one to actually get to choose from any of the dogs there, from any of the handlers were there. He was the, by far, top dog there. Every dog that I saw didn't come close to matching him in scent detection, apprehension, tracking. There were no other dogs that were even close to him. So Berrien County was very fortunate to get Max to work for the 6 years that he did. He's still an outstanding tracking dog. The amount of seizures that we have had with him, the amount of arrests, the amount of fines, finding people that have either run, that have been missing or lost. It was astronomical when I had him, and I know it was the same for Paul when he had him. And I'm just excited to actually have him back and have him retired and at home, give him a peaceful life.
Very good, thank you.
Good morning, Paul Harriman. Thanks for having us this morning. This is Max. He's 9 years old. Like you said, he's actually a Belgian Malinois German Shepherd cross. So again, he's a crossbreed. He's a German Shepherd, Belgian Malinois mix. He's originally from the Netherlands, and we purchased him from Von Leck Kennels down in Indiana, which we actually switched. We do our training now at FM-K9 here in Berrien County. So Max was trained for apprehension, which is like bite work, tracking, and then narcotics detection. He was trained to do crack cocaine, marijuana, heroin, and meth. So he's actually one of the last marijuana trained dogs that's working patrol in the state of Michigan that I know of. Like Lieutenant Dyer talked about, he's had countless fines, and he's actually had 13 live apprehensions where he was deployed to apprehend a fleeing felon.
Thank you.
Very good.
And, Paul had first choice, but he knew how close Tom was with the dog. So Paul was gracious to call Tom and say, Tom, would you like the dog? And Tom and his wife Bree would you know, they're happy to take the dog on to give it a good life for the rest of its life. And we thank
Sounds like
Max
he's
for
ready.
his hard work because, you know, our dogs train all the time. So we train 4 times a month. And then they do training off-site. So the dog is working, and I think he wants a treat or he wants his ball. So, but I want to thank the commissioners for allowing us to, when the dog retires, to give it to the dog handler for $1. So we appreciate that. And once Deputy Frushi picks out her dog and trained, we will bring her in so you could meet our new dog. So we have a total of 4 dogs, 3 for the road. 2 are trained to do tracking and drugs, and 1 is trained to do tracking and bombs. It's a bomb dog. And then the 4th dog is assigned to the jail to do drug searches inside the jail. So we thank you for your support of that. It's very important, and that we have this service for the citizens of Berrien County, and especially when we have to apprehend somebody that is wanted, or to attract somebody that is lost, that we have the ability to bring a dog in to find them right away. So thank you. Sheriff, you got anything?
No, I think you said all, just again, we got and, you know, Max, has had a great career, and we'll have a great retirement with Tom and his family. So.
And for the new board members, we have done this before. It's always a bittersweet day, but at 9, Max is, in human years, would be 63, which is not old, Max. So he's still got a lot of living to do.
He's younger than me and you, right?
Yes, he is. He is. So,
but thank you. Thank you.
all right. Well, let's
Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna go out, if you could.
And you'll send it to me so that I
Okay.
Photo taken. So I'm just going to fill in for the chair for a brief moment while he gets his photo taken. We're moving on in the agenda to committee reports.
So
And
the Personnel and Human Services Committee met this morning. We had a very lengthy report from Maureen, our Veteran Services Coordinator, and it was great activity going on. She's got some stocking caps there, very nice. And but she filled us in great detail of all the things they've got going on. A lot of great progress, and very pleased with her service to Berrien County. We also met with our administrator and board chair, talked about a number of issues, and that would conclude our report.
moving on, Administration Committee.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Maureen did ask me to convey to the board that these were purchased with a grant, and that she would like each one of the commissioners to take one or 2, but they're for us. Okay, we had in to see us this morning, Scott Kuchta from Abbenmarsh and Lentz Beecraft from Ignite. And Ignite is a specialist company that deals with generators. So the first topic that they talked to us about was the generator at the Sheriff's Department. And if you recall, that generator, it services the jail and the courthouse. It does both. You remember that Brian reported out to us that there was a flue or a chimney fire, and so that shut it down. So in the meantime, we've been paying for a temporary generator at that location. What they brought to us was a proposal to replace the generator. It takes probably, he said, about a year to get the generator, all the parts and everything necessary. So what they are proposing is a fix to the flue on the existing generator. Basically, they're going to take the top portion of that chimney, replace it with a double wall chimney rather than replacing the whole thing. He talked about specifications, and if you put an insert, then it reduces the effectiveness of the generator, blah, blah, blah. So they decided just to replace the top with a double wall, and that would take care of the problem. That would make the current generator usable, and hopefully that generator will last us a year until we get the new one and all the parts and everything needed for that. The committee had some questions, most spec questions. One of them was, why not go to gas rather than diesel? Diesel is required. In other words, that is a replenishable fuel, so that if you're using it and you need to refill it, if your outage lasts that long, it's reliable. Pipe natural gas is in their opinion, not reliable. So that's why it will be diesel fuel. It'll have its own tank. The existing tank that's in the ground over there now will be removed. And they'll do all their environmental studies and whatnot to make sure that the ground isn't contaminated. And right now they're estimating that cost to be about $600,000. But bear in mind, these are only estimates, you know, they got to put it out to bid and it could come in higher, but at least you have an idea of what it's going to take, the process that it's going to take to get that generator replaced. And I will pause and answer any questions if you have on that particular topic. I know Julie asked a question in the committee, what about the generator at the juvenile center? That's a fairly new one. Could we, you know, put it over here at the courthouse? And I believe the answer was no, they can't do that, or they're going to look at it. Okay, they're going to look at it as an option. Okay, any questions on the generator? The next topic that they talked to us about is a laundry list of things that needs to be done at the jail. And I did a handout. We didn't have enough for everyone, but I think I put one in between each commissioner. You'll see it's dated January the 26th, 2023, and it outlines all the projects that are already approved. They just need to go out for bid. And the price tag for everything you see here is right around $4 million. And that will be taken out of the ARPA funds to get all this work done. And I know that Lentz and Scott went up to finance after they were done giving their presentation to us. So finance should be aware of everything I've just said. PHS, if you got any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, they did a very detailed and very good job of explaining the generator and all the projects. Are there any questions on the projects or the generator? Committee members, any comments? Brian?
Yeah, to the admin members, what was discussed at finance was essentially running concurrent. So for next week, I'll bring forward an authorizing resolution to admin with the intent of then bringing it also to the full board. The authorizing resolution would be for the formal engagement of admin March Ignite. At the same time, we'll go to the finance committee with a waiver request, since this is a sole source that we're engaging. So that's the laundry list for next week. Our intent is to get this work under contract so that it can progress in a timely manner.
Thank you, Brian. Yep. Okay, we're gonna have some resolutions for you the next time we get together. Resolution ending in 126. This is to contracting services with Outcomes Consulting LLC. I've reported to you before about that. It's a consultant to help Ashley in the beginning stages of her directorship out there. It's to help her out. So this is the authorizing resolution to make that happen. Resolution ending in 133. This is the contract between the Sheriff's Department and Buchanan Township for police services during Red Bud. So this is the authorizing resolution for that, and it's a $24,000 contract. Resolution ending in 134. This is the road department. This is mileage that they submit to the state for Public Act 51. Total miles is 1,476.82 miles. So this resolution authorizes that report and that information to be sent to the state for Public Act 51 funding. And that is our report.
Any other questions for admin? Madam Chair of Finance.
Thank you. Thank you. We concurred on the road expense and signed that. We accepted our minutes. And then we had a conversation about the night meetings because Annette needs to know so that things can be scheduled. And our suggestion is something we had talked about, hopefully having a night meeting in our new commissioners' communities will be 2 of the places. We always want to do Michigan State Extension, and I don't know what else it'll be. There will be 4 or 5 night meetings that we'll do. We kind of talked about doing something with July, not
meeting July 6th, but I think that's something that the chair.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that because that's the 4th of July and we're off or moving around. We may move it further or not at all. So there will be 4 or 5 night meetings. And then we had the same discussion. The gentleman came in from Abin-Marsh and Ignite, and it made a lot of sense what they were saying. And what we know, because of how we see anything that we've ordered has been back ordered or whatever, that our committee concurred. And we were told administration had agreed also to put in an order for this generator so that he said might cut off 4 or 5 months of some of it waiting, for it to come. And they'll continue doing the designs and any work that they can do to be ready. So when it comes, they'll be able to do the installation. I think that's it.
Any questions for finance? All right, we'll move to committee reports. Start with John.
I attended the investiture for Judge Jancha as well as the LPAC meeting last week.
Also attended the investiture for Paul Jancha Jr. Extremely excited for him to be taking over as judge. Also chaired my first LPAC meeting yesterday or the day before yesterday, so that was really fun.
That's right. Normally I have no report, but Berrien County Historical Association attended their meeting. Because it's January, they're planning out their calendar and events for the year. They are getting a full audit because they changed treasurers and everything seems to be going pretty well. That's my report.
No report. I don't have a report, although I do want to say thank you to everyone for understanding last week. I was out of pocket for a couple of committee meetings and of course this meeting. And I thank you for your text messages, your emails, your cards, and the plant that was sent as well from the commission on the passing of my mom. So appreciate it. Appreciate your understanding. Thank you.
No report, but I do want to give kudos to the road commission because this morning I saw them lower their blades and move the snow mush out of the center of about 4 different roads. So I just want to give kudos to them for that.
No report.
I too attended the investiture of Judge Jancha, and along with Commissioner Bell and Commissioner Harrison and Commissioner Pitchford. It was nice to be able to see that ceremony. And then the only other thing that I wanted to report is, again, the Michigan High-Speed Internet Office is doing a listening tour as it relates to broadband and internet connection. And we're encouraging all citizens and individuals who would like their story to be heard to come to that meeting. It's on Tuesday, February 14th from 2 to 4 p.m. at LMC. And I'll make sure that I send that or have Brian send that out to everybody, maybe in your weekly update, if you'd be so kind, Brian. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Werfel and I attended a Zoom meeting with Connexus Michigan Works. And it was the County Elected Officials Board, CEOB. And we're connected with Michigan Works. And it's 2 representatives from Berrien County, from Cass County, from Van Buren County. And we don't meet, but we met that day because every 2 years we choose our officers. And something happened from the state of Michigan or did something with our bylaws that needed to happen. And then we had it brought to our attention that in 24 or 25, we're going to be doing 4 years because the officers we chose normally are for 2 years. And so what we did was, it was suggested that we add it and make it 4 years, or what would it have been, 4?
To go along with.
Yeah, to go along. We're going to keep 2 more on the person that's in it now. And then with the 4 years, we'll look at it again because we think 4 years is too long for 1 chairman, 1 this, 1 whatever the offices are. So it was very interesting and a good opportunity for us to talk with each other because we don't meet that often, maybe 4 times a year or something. So it was a very good meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything to add, Brian? No, sir. All right, general public comments are in order. Anything under the sun in 2 minutes or less. Name and town, name and town.
Elser Hager. I'm sorry to say that those tabs, you know where they're made at, don't you?
China.
China. I wish when the order something like that with American tax money, especially the Army, pay a couple of bucks more and take a look at it and make sure it's not made, say, some of this stuff's made in Vietnam. Now, if you notice some of the shirts, I noticed some of them are made in China, but look at them next time you buy a new shirt. It'll say made in India. That's the up and coming one. Anything made out of cotton that probably comes from India. Okay, now the water. Okay, thank you. When are you going to get that fixed?
Tomorrow.
They're out there digging.
Here at 9 o'clock.
It's gonna make them sick.
Now, the other thing I asked you about, I don't want to hear this again. Now, who do I see about filing a complaint? So one of the things, well, I got 3 or 4 things. This room is way too small. I know you guys don't want to move, you're rubbing elbows. No, the kids were in here, they weren't even sitting that close in there. So I suggest, no, just give me a name, okay? If you guys don't want to do it, then maybe I want to go to the next step, okay?
Oops,
Broken.
I get it.
20 bucks.
So the guy complained about, okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Melissa Clapper, St. Joseph Charter Township. I'm urging at least 5 night meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. Night meetings.
Oh, okay.
All right, we'll move to other business. Does anyone have any? Announcements and reminders? Any of those? All right, we started at 10:33. It is going on 11:03. We're adjourned to Thursday next at 8:35.